Hey everybody, it's David Jenkins with Fonville Morrissey Realty. I'm a residential real estate agent here in the North Carolina Triangle. And I want to talk for a minute about the North Carolina Real Estate Commission's Working with Real Estate Agents brochure, which could also be printed as a 4-page document. Now, this brochure explains what real estate agents do and how they're paid. There's a last little panel here that you would rip off, or you could DocuSign the other side document, the 4-page document. And by signing this panel, what you, the buyer or seller, is saying is that you acknowledge receipt of this document. That's all that you're doing. You're not signing a contract. And the document says that for instance, if you're a buyer and you walk into an open house and you're talking to an agent, that agent should be Mirandizing you and saying, "Ooh, I'm representing the seller, so anything you tell me can and will be used against you in future negotiations. So I'm not going to ask you about your budget or your motivations or anything like that unless we've had a discussion about this and we understand that I would be representing you as a buyer's agent or as a dual agent should you become interested in making an offer on this property." Very important. The brochure also goes into dual agency a bit, and with dual agency the relationship is with the agent's firm and the buyer or seller. If you have a particular seller who's working with a real estate firm and then a buyer comes along and they have an agent who's working with the same firm, then the firm might designate an agent to represent just the seller and designate another agent to represent the buyer, and that would be called designated dual agency, and that provides good protection for both the buyer and the seller as well, as the fiduciary responsibility would be to the respective clients. There's a special situation, which very rarely happens, where a buyer would say, "Look, I don't want a buyer's agent, I don't want you to represent me," but the agent could still show the property as a sub-agent of the seller. In nearly 1,000 real estate transactions, I haven't experienced that a single time, but it is possible and it is addressed in this brochure. But the 4 main categories are: a real estate agent could be representing a seller, a real estate agent could be representing a buyer, a real estate agent could be a dual agent representing both buyer and seller, or a designated dual agent where the firm is representing buyer or seller, or the real estate agent might be functioning as a sub-agent of the seller, and even though the agent is showing the buyer a house, the agent is still representing the seller. Well, that's a brief overview of this, and if I could answer any more questions about it or about anything else relating to the purchase or sale of residential real estate in North Carolina, please give me a call. My information is below. Thank you.